Number 182 in the Masters of Cinema series is Billy Wilder's The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. I've seen this movie quite a lot. I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. I love checking out pretty much all iterations of that character. And this has always been a movie that I really enjoy. I like the pairing of Watson and Sherlock Holmes. Now it's important to get the good actors, the right actors for the role, especially in the tone of the piece, because they are going to be the driving force. It's their relationship as well as the mysteries that really push the movie forward. And I've always liked the pairing of these two characters. No matter how they change the way they relate to each other, they've always been fun. But here we get some really good characters. We get an idea of Holmes and his private adventures and his less famous adventures of the character that he really is. We get Watson at his most annoyed with Holmes through private reasons and things that Holmes does to really wreck his chances of fun throughout the movie. And it's a movie that feels a little bit disjointed, that takes a while for it to really get going, but there's reasons for that going into the production and the way things were edited and released. You get a start of the movie where you have this invitation to a ballet which Holmes and Watson go to after just pottering about their house, getting introduced to the characters. They go here, it's a fairly lengthy sequence. Then they go back to Baker Street, where a young girl is delivered by a horse and cart. She's soaked to the bone and she instigates a mystery that we're going to follow through for the rest of the movie. The only problem is that's like 45 minutes in to this film already, where it really kicks into the main story that the film is going to have. And the mystery's fun. You get some nice, really good performances, particularly from Christopher Lee as Mycroft Holmes, who comes in the movie for a short period of time, but it's really fun. And there's lots of things to love about this. And the thing that's always marvelled me about Wilder's movies is the language and the dialogue and the way it's used. And it is perfectly suited towards Holmes here, who is cutting one-liners could almost be missed in the way that they're delivered. And when you're listening out for this delicious dialogue, it's so entertaining and just so bloody fun to hear him have these sly little digs, but delivered in an everyday manner so that they don't really get noticed. Subterfuge of the dialogue is just terrific. The pairing of the two characters of Watson and Holmes is wonderful. But what really kind of makes this a sad watch for me is, as much as I love it, it feels disjointed. It feels lacking in a certain direction, and it feels unfulfilled. And reading into the movie and discovering the movie that it should have been makes you want for that kind of film. This is a 2 hours and 5 minutes movie, and the original cut was 3 hours 20. That's a hell of a lot of movie to be cut out of this. And the way it was delivered, the way the idea it was supposed to be brought to screen sounds wonderful. It wasn't supposed to be a one large narrative that's driving the movie forward. It was supposed to be segments, giving you an idea into the character of Holmes through his misadventures, the things that weren't prominently advertised or written about in the Strand magazine. It was only supposed to be an intimate look into this character and some of his lesser adventures or things that went wrong. And that's a wonderful idea, and it was framed as though it was a lockbox that Watson's son had discovered, full of trinkets of Holmes, his key belongings, and a book or short stories of these misadventures. And it was almost supposed to be as if that son was reading through these, discovering a new aspect of Holmes. And it's just, the possibilities are there for it to be wonderful because it's perfectly shot and set up. The production standards are great. The script is wonderful. It just feels unfulfilled. And Eureka do great adding in an extra on this disc that's 50 minutes that really tries to show you what it would be like to get these scenes. Sometimes it's script pages with the score playing over it. Sometimes it's actual shot footage without sound. Sometimes it's sound without the footage, as they try to pad up what these segments would be. And some of them are pretty funny. There's one that I like, The Naked Honeymooners, where Holmes gives Watson a chance to go and prove his deductive skills and how he's honed them by watching Holmes all these years, just to watch him get almost everything wrong. And it's one of those missed opportunities. It's one of those movies I'm going to watch out for getting a reassembled proper cut of what this thing could be, because this should be a standout Holmes movie. It's still very, very good. It's just, when you hear about all the things that could have went into this, that could have added to it, it makes you wonder, what if? But it's there on the disc for you to check out. I really do like The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes. I think it's a fun Holmes adventure. It's a different side. I really do like the performance of Watson in the movie, who is a kind of standout, laugh out loud character quite a lot of the time. Dialogue's wonderful. Movie looks great. The disc is fantastic from Eureka and has all these extras that really add to the whole idea of what this movie could have been, as well as interviews and cutscenes and that 50-minute extra of script pages and video footage and pictures of things that seem to have been lost to time. It's quite sad, actually. But there we have it. I'd love to know your thoughts on this movie. Let me know in the comment box below, and I will see you next time on Man v Film.